think we're up to about 6 or 7 coaches now, so it's definitely growing in the right direction. But yeah, there's no sign of slowing down yet.
No, I think it's growing.
Yeah, the trajectory is definitely on the up, and I think she would like the idea of a bit more family time, especially with a 1-year-old. But essentially, we're trying to push harder to get over these hurdles, because obviously during COVID, setting up a gym, we acquired debt. We've got to pay that off now. So that's one of the things you don't really look into, right? You're not just paying for the gym, you've got to pay off the investment that you put in to start with. So yeah.
Do you find it was a big risk at the time? Or I mean, it sounds like it was a calculated risk. I mean, going into any business is.
Sounds a bit cheesy, but I'd like try to back myself a little bit.
Sounds like you're in Love Island.
Yeah. I've got good people around me, good business people around me. So a lot of my best friends have their own businesses for 10 years. Got a lot of older friends who've done their own things for a while. I said, if you get into real trouble, I help you out. So blah, blah, blah. But essentially we had to go and get, cash deposit to put down and invest heavily to set up. So going into lockdown, we were still paying that off, and we will be for a while. But, that adds stress, right? You've got a baby, don't see your missus as much as you should. Like, it's not like I go to work early. I go to work really early and come back really late.
It's really early.
Yeah.
Because you're there at 6, I'm there at 6.
Yeah.
So, and then you're working there through to
9 o'clock at
9
night.
o'clock at night. And it has to be manned. You need someone there.
Yeah.
But and the flip side of that is that you're also doing this with your co-founder, Jess.
Yeah.
So in partnership,
Yeah.
at work, at home, with baby, it's just so much on.
Yeah, so you do all that, and then, little Leo might be up at 2 o'clock in the morning, so you're given a bottle, back to bed. Alarm goes at 5, and you start your day again.
There's nothing like setting yourself a challenge.
Yeah, it's mad. When you actually sit down and think about it, you realise how bonkers you are, but it's a bit of a challenge, isn't it? A little hurdle to get over.
Yeah, but I sort of feel like almost you're going through this because you can see a better future.
Yeah.
And you know that's going to come. I mean, working for yourself, you're going to have to work hard and for a lot of hours, but I see a better future in if you can get through this hurdle.
I'm massive on delayed gratification. Like, you work really hard, and like we've only just got to a point now where I'm taking enough money home that I'm better off now than I was when I was just PTing.
Right.
So it went massively backwards to begin with. So it's not necessarily just the financial reward you might or might not get. It's the purpose behind it, the community, and the sense of building something that you have over time.
Mm-hmm.
So you run your own business, so hopefully you get rewarded financially for that. But it's the purpose and the bigger picture at the end of the day, and that's, I think, the biggest drive for me personally. That you're building something you're proud of, and hopefully something so good one day someone might want to buy it. You might want to sell it, you might not, but hopefully you build this little entity that you're proud of. That's really, for me, what it's all about, that you have this direction and goal and purpose, that you have a reason to get up every day. I don't want to be, I think I'd be dangerous if I had so much free time that I could just potter around. I think I'd be incredibly lazy and bored.
Do you think this is giving you more purpose and more meaning?
Massively, yeah. Massively. I can't imagine life without it now. Does that make sense? So you've got this direction you're trying to achieve. I'm never one to be like, right, look back where we were and now we're here and things are so good. It's like, right, next month, and you're always looking to grow. And once we get to that point, we can do this. And once we get to that point, we can do this. And how can we 2 years time, I want to put a mezzanine floor in the gym, so we've got another section to it, so there's more space to expand and bits and pieces. It's always the next stage. It's never like, let's settle. It's very much on an upward trajectory of where can we grow, how can we get better, expand, etc.
What have been those, since you set up, what have been those early challenges that you've had to deal with? Obviously, we talked about you're going through COVID, so really hard time. And then, first, you've had to get financing.
Yep.
You've had to, and I don't know, was it a gym before?
There was a yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ah, right. Because funny enough, I've lived here for 8 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know about it. I've always gone to fitness first.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only when I think you were like at a fete or something like that, and I saw you guys there,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'll check this out, because I was just coming out. I wasn't going to a gym then. I was just training wherever, and then I saw it advertised, and I thought, oh, this is good. I just didn't have no idea you were there, so I was really happy that I found you. But so there was a gym there before. Then what happened? I mean, there must have been so many challenges in just setting that up at the very beginning.
So there was a gym there before, and I knew the owners. They set it up many years before we were there,
Right.
and they went off in their separate directions. In the end, there was only one guy left, and it was like a really sad story. But he ended up passing away of cancer.
Oh no.
So like he was only mid-40s, early 40s.
Oh god, that's young.
Yeah, really young.
And he's probably owns a gym. He's fit, right? I imagine.
He was more academic than he was active, if I'm
Right.
honest. But like when it happens to the nicest people, it's really harsh. But he had cancer as a much younger
Right.
kid, and I think if you've had it once, you're more likely to get it a second time.
That's awful.
Yeah, really sad. And he tried to hide it and keep it a secret, but you could see his health was deteriorating. I didn't find out until the week before he died. He said, when they diagnosed him, he had a year to live, but he went on for 2 or 3 years in the end.
Right. So did you know him quite well?
Relatively, because he came from Fitness First when I was there, and he moved over. So I used to be a member at that gym, and then the unit closed down, and we took it on once it had closed and moved on. But
okay.
yeah, really sad. There's 3 of them together, and I think they had 3 different ideas of what a gym should be. So one left, and the second person left, and then there's one guy, but he ended up passing away. It's really sad.
Oh bless.
Because he was in my position, like trying to push, but like he was battling these like health conditions.
God, it's unbelievable, isn't it, that can happen?
Yeah, really sad. He was a really nice guy. Didn't really no one deserves it, but yeah.
Family?
He was single, but his parents were there a lot when he was in the final for like a few months.
Yeah.
So it's hard to see.
So what happened after that then? So you were a member. So you were already
I was training there.
You were already training there, doing
So
PT. Been doing PT there.
Only kind of like to help him out a little bit.
All right.
So I was like, I'll come down. I'll do some of my clients here, so I can keep the gym open. And then it just closed. So we scooted off back to where we were, and it was just a funny time because I think he passed away in November, December.
Right.
So it was about 3-4 months later. We got so my girlfriend Jess, her dad is friends with the landlord of the units, and then they just had a conversation and said, why don't we work something out? And we took the unit on over him and took a new lease.
Wow. Yeah. I suppose it's fortunate that you were in that position, that you were like thinking, okay, there's a chance. So, I mean, what were you doing prior for you to then think, I'm going to take the leap here? Because obviously you've had a lot of background around fitness, around nutrition, around PT. Where did all this interest come from? Like at the very beginning, how did you get interested in sort of fitness and nutrition and as a career?
So I was always into sports as a kid. Played lots of sports, whether it's football, rugby, whatever it may be. Like happy to jump in at anything. Did it at college, so I went to do sports at college and coaching. Did football badges and my level 2 PT there and all that kind of stuff. Dad's a builder, so finished that. I was like, right, I'm going to work with you. I hated it.
Really?
Absolutely. Like, never work. Like, working with Jess is one thing. Working with my old man, completely different.
Why is it so different?
I think me and my dad are pretty similar, and then we clash heads a little bit. So.
Also, he's a boss, probably.
Yeah.
Point, yeah.
So, yeah, it didn't work. Like, we did it. I was there for 2 or 3 years, but looking back, I should have been, a bit more engaged with it. Like, it would have helped me a lot with my setting up a gym and like taking on more information rather than have to rely on other people for their handy skills. I'm okay, but I could have definitely learnt a lot more, and if I'd been a bit more receptive.
But were you passionate about it? Did you like doing it?
This is the big thing, right? I hated it.
No.
So
I don't think you can start getting good at something you don't like.
Yeah.
I started working with my dad years ago, and he's sort of in mechanic and engineering, and I was like, I don't want to work here.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't where I'm going to end up.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't going to be what I'm going to do. So it's just like, I knew he would have wanted me to go more down, and he was very handy and everything else. And I was just like, I'm not very good with my hands. You are,
yeah,
but I'm not. So I'm like, I can think. Well, but he just, so I was just like, this isn't going to work out. I need to go on. You need to go on your own little journey, I think.
yeah, 100%. So I couldn't agree more. Like, I had no passion in it, and I couldn't see myself set up at a building company, and I couldn't see myself doing some sort of path in this direction. Like, went into fitness, and I was coaching people, and it got to a point where I was like, cool, I might have to go and do something else because this is like draining me. Just that system of like, you're a PT, you're at Fitness First, you've been doing it for years now, you're as busy as you're ever going to get on a one-to-one basis. Like, do I go online? Do I go, do a different career path altogether? One of my friends works in orthopedics. Like, I'll come and do some sales work in here. You've got a good background of like biochem and physiology and stuff. I was like, I could do that. I was like prepping for interviews at the time, like, because I was getting pretty demoralised with like the one-to-one scenario, paying huge amounts of rent at a Fitness First type gym.
It's expensive there, isn't it, for PTs?
I think it was like $7,000 a year when I was there.
$7,000. I wanted to say, I've had a few friends who are
Yeah.
PTs there. Now, I'm sure they were saying $600 a month or so. Does that work out? Something like that?
Yeah, roughly.
So you got to cover off quite a few clients just to cover off your rent.
Yeah, and then you obviously got to pay your mortgage, your rent at home as well. So
Yeah.
it adds up. So if you're doing that, you've got to be doing some good hours. And when you're at Fitness First, you have to have your clients as a member of the gym. So you've got an obstacle there as well. So technically, you've only got the pool of people who have come through the gym. So you're relying on the gym to be successful as well as to get any clientele for yourself.
Yeah.
And then you're just one of 10 to 15 PTs at the time who are there.
Yeah.